Hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation. And welcome to another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for over a year and 2.5 months, because that's correct, the daily stream streak remains strong. I'm here to open my office doors to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview. Perhaps they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next 2 to 3 hours, depending on how stream energy holds up. But before I get into the stream subject, as well as our general Q&A, let me start with a little bit of housekeeping. First and foremost, Mamori. Congratulations on being the #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e., congratulations on being first chatter. Alongside you, CD23, Rune, Chester Factory, Legendary Doge, Amber, Puppet Boy, Senior Researcher Alex, Dr. Frogman, Creepypasta George Harrison, Silent Follower, Redfail Hawk. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here as members of Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, interns Rain, Lyris, Huntermark, Long Guy, Malachi, Alex P, Salted Flower, Lola Bunny, Matthew Burr, 051, EJ, and Opal. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you for being here punctually. And thank you for being here today just for being you. Now, today's stream subject is quite simple. You can read it in the title of today's stream. We've already talked about how Hollywood saw the success of the Backrooms and decided they were going to rummage through the junk drawer of the internet to find some spooky internet stories to make into movies, because of course Hollywood is going to take the wrong lesson from this success, and they think, oh, creepypasta equals movie. So that's what they're doing. And yesterday, we talked about how Warner Brothers Studios has bought, for a multi-million-dollar deal, the rights to a Siren Head movie. Now, good news, Trevor Henderson was properly compensated for this, and seems to be hinting that Trevor might be, in fact, involved in the film, which is good news for everyone involved. We're all happy about that. Good for you, Trevor. None of what I say, in anger, is meant to dissuade your bag getting. We approve of you getting the bag and making your artistic works into films. But today we are announcing that I just found this morning, thanks to Charger in the chat, Amazon MGM Studios has purchased the film options for the Mandela Catalogue, with Steven Spielberg set to produce. One of our greatest living filmmakers is producing the Mandela Catalogue movie. And as my crash out yesterday is mirrored today, the SCP Foundation is feeling very always a bridesmaid, never a bride about this whole situation. At least I am. What do you mean? Zach Kreger is working on the Siren Head movie. What do you mean? Steven Spielberg is working on a Mandela Catalogue movie. Where is any of this interest in the largest online collaborative storytelling platform, where tens of thousands of stories lie waiting for adaptation? We are one of the oldest heads of the internet horror. Starting in 2007, nearly 20 years old, our child siblings, Siren Head, The Backrooms, and now the Mandela Catalogue are getting all the hype. Needless to say, I found out about this while I was at the gym. And oh boy, did the fire bubbling in my veins lead to some very sick, extra-powered lifts. The Foundation Fitness Initiative did gain some sweet gains from this news. And so, of course, it's very obvious as to why the SCP Foundation is being omitted from the search. It's because we are Creative Commons released as a community. Oh no, a little bit of mild communism in an artistic space. I'm shocked by this. But because of the Creative Commons and the fact that they would not be able to own the rights to their movie, because if they made an SCP movie, they would have to release it via the Creative Commons to be reused by other people, we're being overlooked yet again. And this is why we have to do it ourselves. This is why the failure of SCP Containment Breach, the movie by Keter Labs' Kickstarter, stabs so sharply. I need to hydrate. I need to breathe, and I need to hydrate. We have to do it ourselves. Of course we have to do it ourselves, intern Enzo. It seems like that's going to be the only way. With Steven fucking Spielberg on the Mandela Catalogue movie, and again, no shade to Trevor Henderson, no shade to Kane Pixels, no shade to Alex Kister. Get your bags. Make your art. I do approve of your projects. Make your art. Make it happen. But why the fuck not us? Yes, we all know why. It's the Creative Commons. Fuck that. We've already spoken about, in the past, how because the DVD physical media market is tanked, movies are not making nearly what they used to. but they can still win in a box office scenario. Iron Lung beat its profit margins to death in a box office run. The Backrooms smashed box office expectations, which is why Siren Head and the Mandela Catalogue are greenlit. We can do this. We have the opportunity to make an SCP movie, and if it went to theaters, there is a large contingent who would be interested in an SCP horror movie in theaters. The money could be made. My word. Negentropy, another SCP Foundation content creator, specifically one I've never heard of before this day. Hello! Welcome to the chat, fellow SCP Foundation YouTube fam. Always good to see people creating in the SCP Foundation space. Welcome to the chat. Negentropy. Cool name. Now, this brings me to my sponsor segment. Our very interesting, limited time opportunity, crazy shot in the dark sponsor segment. We discovered from the YouTube newsletter that I receive as a creator that there is a highfalutin YouTube convention just down the street of my day job workplace. My cover job as a ballroom dance instructor. Literally a 5-minute walk from there, there's going to be a big YouTuber convention. The audio sync goes off as soon as I start the sponsor segment. Wouldn't you guess? So, there is a big highfalutin YouTuber convention coming to my hometown. I would have to take time off to work, and the tickets are exceptionally expensive because these are a highfalutin YouTube convention. You may notice I am not specifically a tech YouTuber, but I can get admission for some various exceptionally pricey tickets. And it is literally going to translate to the higher the price the ticket, the longer I am allowed to be at the convention and to get into behind the scenes spaces with large YouTubers. Which YouTubers, you might ask? Many of these I do not know, as again, I am not in the technical YouTuber space. But as I scroll through and you see names and faces, maybe you'll recognize someone. I recognize Mark Rober. That's a fairly prominent YouTuber I recognize. Who else is on this list? Hank Green, founder of VidCon, if I'm remembering correctly. Pretty crazy. Rolling down. Little Gem here is just super impressing me with this Nightmare Golden Fredbear mask. Someone who can make tech like that, I would want making special effects on an SCP movie. Can we introduce this person to a new fandom? If they like FNAF, they might like SCP. Oh, is that a H-Bomber guy? I don't actually think H-Bomber guy would be very much helpful to the SCP movie cause, but I would still like to meet H-Bomber guy if possible, just for my own personal tastes of enjoying his work. Who else do we have here? Ted Nivison, who is, I don't know that guy, but his name is very similar to the protagonist of House of Leaves, and so I was confused for a quiet minute. The Odd One is out. Convince you to make SCP animations? Probably not. Who else? We have a bunch of members of Corridor Crew. That is a film YouTube channel, and they are connected with Markiplier. I could make a friend of Markiplier. Try to get him in on the SCP movie game. but in a way that he will not yell at us and call us idiots about. I don't know Mike from Vsauce, but I am familiar with that person existing. Juniper Dev is actually a YouTuber I follow when it comes to game dev. If we're talking about SCP game development, I could get some tips there. Ranboo is present. A lot of people seem to be very excited about Ranboo being present. I don't know what Ranboo does, but yes, Ranboo will be there. Scrolling through, trying to find names I recognize. Still Corridor Crew, still useful. And I must have missed him, but Aaron from Game Grumps is going to be there. A very prominent YouTuber that I am familiar with at the very least. And so, here is the scenario, people. In the past, I have asked the Site42 community to crowdfund certain crazy projects, whether they be SCP films or games, or in the case of a Site42 project, me flying myself and a bunch of other SCP content creators to Los Angeles to film SCP immersive theater experiences that were being performed so they would live immortally on the Site42 YouTube channel and not just be in-person events. This is a much riskier prospect. When you guys crowdfunded me to go film a play, I went and filmed the play. I bought a little tech. I bankrolled the other YouTubers and myself going and getting hotels and stuff like that. It was a very clear, we fund it and we succeed. Easy peasy. But this is a lot riskier. This is a very expensive prospect. And it's going to be a soft power play, not a hard merchandise play. This would be sending me into this den of prominent YouTubers, as well as several YouTube staff members who are confirmed to be on site. There will be a YouTube content creator lounge. And what I would be doing is I would be our representative, the Site42 and SCP community representative in this space. I would be there hobnobbing, rubbing elbows, networking, introducing myself as Dr. Theron Sherman from Site42 on YouTube with over 1 million subscribers to catch their interest. To say, hey, the SCP community, pardon me, the SCP community is a pretty big online community. Creative Commons, arts communism, free to use as long as you credit the proper sources, which you're all professional YouTubers. I know you'll do such a thing. And you don't have to pay royalties or anything. You can just make awesome work and have a built-in audience for it. Also, I am trying to get SCP games and films and stuff like that made. Do you guys maybe want to collaborate in the future? Here's my business card. Let's talk. This is a pretty risky venture in that I could go there, and I'd say 5% chance. Nothing comes of it. I get sick and I can't go, which would suck. Something comes up that I can't make it. That's obviously an option. I don't think it's going to be, especially because I plan to work that weekend anyways, and it's at the same place as my work. So unless something crazy happens, act to God, I'll be there. Next up, I could get there and offend everybody in some way. I'm actually rather charming. That's not going to happen. I'm very good at schmoozing. I'm pretty good at this gig. That's basically all my YouTube channel is at this point. Now, there is an opportunity that I could befriend a couple very prominent other YouTubers, which could lead to future collaborations. Because part of the rich people hobnobbing scenario is that you have to get FaceTime with people to make them comfortable with your existence, to know, hey, I talked to that guy, seems pretty chill. Maybe I will hang out with them again in the future. And so getting into the company of these people is in and of itself a networking opportunity to reach further alliances. Maybe they don't have a use for the SCP Foundation, but they know another YouTuber who would. Maybe they know a guy knows a guy who's a film director. The people in the YouTube convention are more likely to be those poople. Poople? Huh. Interesting. More likely to be those people. And last but not least, even if we are just going to make a bunch of connections, there's also the opportunity, the longer I spend there, the more I get to talk to these people, that I get my own YouTube content creation tips from the YouTube staff members in attendance, from the gianter YouTubers than myself, in which we can improve the Site 42 channel as well as disseminate that information to the rest of SCP YouTube. Because I'm going there on our behalf. I'm not going to keep all these secrets. I'm going to tell you guys and spread the word so you can tell the other SCP YouTubers. That way everybody's craft gets a little better. And so, this is a rather risky, but once in a blue moon opportunity. And so I'm asking you guys, if you have the ability to donate extra in the next week, today and the next week, because the convention's in 2 weeks, then please, to the best of your ability, help bankroll this adventure. If I get the $200 ticket, I can go for 2 days. I'd have to miss work, but it's the cheapest ticket. I would not have any behind-the-scenes access. If I can get the $800 ticket, I can go to all 3 days. I'm still missing work, and I'm spending a lot more money, but I can go on the Friday when it's a lot quieter because the general populace won't be allowed. Plus, I can go to a special Thursday night networking event. So we get an extra day and a half of FaceTime. If we can get to the crazy $1,500 ticket, plus supporting me missing 3 days of work for it, then I can get special VIP lounges. I can get specific behind-the-scenes meet and greets with the bigger creators. We have some crazy opportunities depending on how far we go with this. And so, Site 42 staff, if you have the budget to donate, and it will not harm you because we would never have you donate more than you can donate, this is one of those opportunities that might be bad to miss. And so I thank you for your generosity, adding to our coffers so we can make this a reality. I am keeping track of the donation amounts during this drive to see what it adds up to so we can succeed. Fingers crossed. Also, I will do like yesterday. If the person wishes it, the person who donates the most to today's stream can pick the end credit song. The most in a single donation. I highly recommend using the Ko-Fi, since Ko-Fi only takes 3% of your donation as a service charge, whereas YouTube Super Chats take 30% of your donation. And then if you donate on an iPhone, then Apple takes an additional 30%. So, the most beneficial way to donate to Site 42, especially for this, in larger amounts, is the Ko-Fi. And so we thank you for your generosity in helping us to make this happen. Fingers crossed. Now, that is our stream subject. We're getting a Mandela Catalogue movie. And God damn it, how about we do what we can to get an SCP movie finally made? All right, I'm now going to catch up with the donations that have come in during the intro, subject, and sponsorship segment. And then we will move on to general Q&A for the remainder of stream. So, starting out, Redacted Theorist, thank you for sending a happy poop, a clocket, a makeup brush, a happy poop, another happy poop, more happy poop, a 6-7 to the Containment Hazard Assessment team, as well as 5 more happy poops. I am sure the Containment Hazard Assessment team is going to enjoy a certain amount of those donations. The makeup brush, they will slay the day away. The clocket, I'm sure they will clock something, why not? And the litany of the happy poops, I don't know why they would want those, but I guess thank you. And the 6-7, happy laughing for Desk's annoyance at your generosity. Matthew Burr, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a croquette on your way past the commissary. Is the Doomslayer considered an SCP? No. The Doomslayer is anomalous and might be mentioned on the SCP database, I'm not sure, but it is not an SCP on the SCP wiki. so it is not an SCP. It is anomalous, though. And that's true for most other intellectual properties you asked me about. Is the Mandela Catalogue an SCP? Well, no, it's not on the SCP database, but it is anomalous AF. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Grab yourself a blueberry muffin on your way past the commissary. I'm not sure about Spielberg making movies anymore. Disclosure Day was a letdown, and he's unbearably full of himself. Well, first and foremost, Steven Spielberg gets to be full of himself. The movies that man has made. Now, it is possible for someone to reach a point of arrogance and head up one's own acidness that they lose perspective in the ability to create. But I did hear, I've not seen Disclosure Day, but I did hear that it is good from some people. So there are mixed reviews on that one. I am sorry you did not enjoy it, though. Salted Flour, thank you for sending 3 clutches to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure it will come in clutch 3 times over. What else do we got here? Mobile Task Force Captain Gilbert. Welcome back to your Mobile Task Force captainship. Shocked to see it expired, but welcome back to full rank. Artist Rain, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a cupcake on your way past the commissary. You do not send a message with your donation, so simply thank you for your generosity. Intern Base, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. And hey, it's been a minute. I hope you've been doing well. Grab yourself a pink lemonade on your way past the commissary. How would the Foundation contain a false Hydra from D&D Homebrew? Yes, a shapeshifter that can encompass a town. We would be surrounding the perimeter of the town and sending in D classes to experiment, just keeping people away from it. Pretty easy, actually. Intern Rosemary, thank you for sending 2 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now ranked a 2-star chat. Make your way to 5 stars, team. I believe in you. Lone Claw, thank you for your 13 months as an overseer here at Site 42, Dr. Lovelace. Hiya, Dr. Sherman. You're looking really good. A real testament to the fitness initiative. Sorry for not being around as much anymore. The O5 Council, my research have been keeping me busy. Anywho, I'd be happy to help with this. Well, first of all, hey, it is good to see you. It's been a bit, but you know, I've been streaming every day for a year and 2.5 months. So yes, you guys do come and go because you have lives. I am basically your friend to talk about the SCP Foundation with online, especially for those of you who live in isolated places where you don't have any SCP friends. So hey, it is good to see you again. And I hope your life is doing well outside of your SCP Foundation work. And thank you for the compliment on the smolder. The Foundation Fitness Initiative has been shockingly going well. I have dropped the 20 pounds that I put on from the ankle injury. I am about 70% as strong as I was at my best. So we are still working our way up on the strength gains, but at least we've dropped a lot of the weight. And so we are on our way to successfully getting back into fighting shape. And I tell you what, getting back into shape has really changed the amount of energy I have. I feel a lot more alive again. But you guys have been dealing with me in the worst year of my life. The ankle injury really fucked me up. All that weight I put on, a lot of calories from drinking alcohol, which you do when you're bored because you have nothing else to do because you're stuck on a couch. There's nothing more pathetic than a ballroom dance teacher who can't walk, by the way. I mean, just shoot me like a dead horse at that point. But don't, because I'm getting better. And so, yes, thank you for recognizing that. I'm feeling really good. I'm fitting back into clothes that have been sitting in the closet for a while. You're going to see some new shirts on stream. You're going to see some of my dope fits come back. The Foundation Fitness Initiative is alive and well in me and in all of you who also get back to the gym, get strong, get fast, so that you can avoid the danger of the anomalous containment breaches. Rosemary, thank you for your first super chat of today's stream. Grab yourself an omelette de fromage on your way past the commissary. Supporting the diplomat for our foundation. I will do my best as the self-appointed SCP Foundation business consultant. I thank you for your generosity. If I can make it to this convention with the big ticket, it's going to be a bit nuts. Amber, thank you for your floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will feel the love. And Silent Follower, thank you for your first and incredibly generous donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Please make your way to the commissary and go up to the cashier at the commissary counter and please say the words, "Great Googly Moogly." The commissary employee cashier will know what that means, and they will hand you a ring box. And within that ring box is the world's only perfect potato chip. The amount of seasoning, the shape and crispity texture. This is for you and you alone to sample and enjoy. And thank you for your generosity to today's stream and helping me to make my way to this YouTuber convention and to bring the glory of the SCP Foundation, the glory of Site 42, to the people. Listen, to everyone in the chat saying just one potato chip, only one, did you read what happened in SCP-294 when someone asked for a glass of, I don't remember if it was the perfect drink or the best drink I'll ever taste, and how life lost all meaning because they had that? No. We go careful on these kind of things for a reason. Thank you again, Silent Follower. You said, very good friend vibes, plus don't have Ko-Fi. Hope this helps, and you're not pathetic, far from it. Oh, trust me, a Leo on the astrological sign, even though I don't believe in astrology, I come off exactly like a Leo when you read it in the books, and that includes man colds and being very whiny when injured or sick. Believe you me, I am not perfect in any way. A dance teacher who can't walk is a very sad sight, and a very whiny one. But thank you for your confidence in me, and for my diplomacy in the name of the SCP Foundation. Again, a reminder, there's no guarantee anything will come from this, but it is one of those moonshot opportunities that if we let it pass us by, we might regret it. But if we take the shot, at least we'll know if something could have happened. Intern, some sort of emoticon face. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I saw a couple other subscribers. I think I'm going to check the chat, and then I'll run to the Ko-Fi, and then we will have general Q&A. Interns, Buscota and Lemonade. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. All right, that covers the subscribers in the chat. And let's double check the Ko-Fi. Reminder, we very definitely appreciate you donating through the Ko-Fi if that is possible, because Ko-Fi only takes 3% of whatever you donate as a service charge, while YouTube gets 30% of every super chat donation. And if you donate on an iPhone, then Apple gets 30% of every donation. So that's a double whammy. So we definitely appreciate you when you make the opportunity to go to the Ko-Fi. It's not required, but we thank you. Now, Lone Claw, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. And thank you for your incredible, generous donation to today's stream to help the cause of SCP Foundation diplomacy. Please make your way to the Site 42 secret break room for site directors. And when you are there in the site director's lounge, the bartender will mix you up a very special beverage, one that a human would not be able to imbibe, but one such as yourself, a deathless mallow entity, may in fact find quite intriguing in flavor profile. And so, thank you again for your generosity. Enjoy your beveragino. And let us see what we have here. Special donation for you from your deathless friend, Dr. Vera Lovelace. Well, thank you for your very simple message. Much obliged, Dr. Lovelace. I will do you guys proud at the YouTuber convention. Hopefully, the reception there is good enough that I can stream from the convention. That would be very neato if we could do our daily stream from Open Sauce, the convention. Also, Chesta Factory, shout out, since Chesta Factory is going to be there, we will at the very least fist bump while you're present. And by the way, for those keeping track of the song credit donation tier, right now, Silent Follower and Dr. Lovelace are currently tied as the biggest donor. I guess I should say, Dr. Lovelace is actually the winner by 1 penny. Dr. Lovelace is currently the winner by 1 penny. So it's not really a tie. Dr. Lovelace currently has song choice for credit song option. We'll see if that lasts to the end of stream. We are currently 36 minutes into stream. I plan to go 2 to 3 hours. Ah, yes, and Intern Timbar, you are correct. Sheenie wants me to fist bump Aaron from Game Grumps, if possible. I will make that happen on Sheenie's behalf. I barely get notice. Well, Intern Ellis, I mean, I did just finish the stream subject, the sponsorship, and the donations, and you haven't donated. So now that I'm looking at the general chat, I do see you finally. But saying notice me and trying to guilt trip the streamer isn't a great way to get noticed. Or if it is, you get noticed in a negative light, which does not bode well for you. I would instead go for some more interesting conversation to hook me into paying attention to you. Interesting conversation. Well, hello there, Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, who has come here dressed in her lovely Love is Love shirt and trans flag harness, repping a little bit of extra Pride Month, is Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. Remember, that is Charlie without an E at the end. Charlie ends with an I, and a heart over the I or after the I, depending on if you are writing it or texting it. Charlie without an E and a heart. The sweetest pumpkin at Site 42 just got to go on a walkie, I believe. A field mission of sorts. And, of course, requires from the chat the chat-mandated treaty. What a very sweet baby girl. All right, be free, little one. And now for my allergies. And the general Q&A continues. Oh, I did see a Ko-Fi notification come in. Let me grab that before I forget it exists. Goose Goose, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. And I believe you're a member as well, so thank you for that. Please grab yourself some coconut shrimp on your way past the commissary. Some coconutted shrimpies. Fun fact, man colds or man flu happens because testosterone is a mild immunosuppressant. This does not shock me at all, actually. I think I read somewhere, heard something, that not only do women have higher pain tolerances and stress tolerances than men in general, but also that when they are on their cycle, they are at the closest hormonally to men in that point, which lends credence to, yes, women are more irritable and such at that point, but that's because they're the most like men at that point, if I'm remembering the science correctly. Intern, what was your name? Phoenix and Ace. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. My friend Glitch mixed Coke and Pepsi. She is in Keter containment now. She was an anomaly with free roaming privileges, but not anymore. Yes, that is a terminable sin. I am sorry for the casualty report you will have to fill out due to having done that. Well, her having done that. Are you still referring to the anomaly as a her, or is it reverting to proper pronoun parlance protocols in lieu of their crime? Dr. Lovelace, you are nominating Villainous Thing by Schaefer James as the credit song, since you are currently the top donor. Now, or the top single donor. Now, I don't know that song, but I did say that if you list a song I don't know, I will at the very least listen to it and try to sing a little of it. So, yes, remember, I'm not doing whole songs no matter what. I'm doing segments like I do for every credit song. I'm just letting you guys pick the credit song. So I will listen to this song a little bit and then do my take on it. Villainous Things, Schaefer James. Villainous Things, singular, I see. All right, I have that pulled up unless someone else becomes the highest single donor. Then they will usurp credit song choosing privileges. Captain Gilbert, thank you for your first super chat of today's stream, as well as renewing your membership. Grab yourself a frittata on your way past the commissary. I'm honestly surprised that none of the theorist media are going to that event, though H. Bomber Guy could be useful for sets and set design if he can be convinced. I mean, if I get the opportunity to speak to H-Bomb at this event, I've been following H-Bomb since the early dunking on right-wingers days. The reason I did LGBTQ support streams for Halloween for several years was because of H-Bomber Guy's Donkey Kong stream with AOC. So, yes, if I get the opportunity to talk to H-Bomb, first and foremost, I'm just saying thank you for inspiring me all these years. But yes, I do, if H-Bomber Guy also says, oh, I think the SCP Foundation is neat, I would help you out with things, then I would be very excited. And yes, Theorist Media, because this is really a tech builder, mechanical focus YouTube, I'm not shocked that Theorist Media isn't there. The same as I'm not shocked that, I am shocked that a lot of people like H-Bomber Guy are there, or Doug, or Aaron from Game Grumps, because they are not necessarily tech YouTubers, although I am happy for the opportunity to link up with them by going there. So, hey, I'll take it. Captain Dissolution is a VFX artist. That might be helpful if you can get his interest. Musical Sand, thank you for that recommendation. I knew the name Captain Disillusion, but I didn't know what their thing was. I just recognized their name and the interesting makeup costume they have. VFX artist, that just put them high on my list for finding and chatting with. Doug is definitely a tech YouTuber, Doc. Yeah, I don't know what Doug is at all. Sorry if I said the wrong thing there. I only know the name, and I thought Doug was like a commentary YouTuber or something. I feel like I've watched one Doug video and it was like talking about something. I don't remember any building, but then again, I only watched one video and I don't remember what it was, so who knows? I'll be learning a lot about a lot of YouTubers by going to this. Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Sherman, according to protocol, if you had to move a large or hard-to-contain SCP between sites, how would that occur? Well, I mean, every SCP requires slightly different containment protocols, which means slightly different transport protocols. So, obviously, a large anomaly would require construction equipment to move. We could rent a crane. We could utilize some sort of machinery like that. Now, depending on what universe you're in, trucking is a part of the SCP Foundation's nationwide or worldwide shipping apparatus for transferring anomalies. You could also be dealing with one where there are ways, capital W, ways that can teleport you to a new place, multi-dimensionally or from one place to another. So there's a lot of options for that. If you want to get a little more specific, then I can talk to you about the specifics of transporting a certain anomaly. Quick, for Fan Art Friday, we got to make a slideshow presentation on all these YouTubers so Doc can cram for the exam. Yes, I do realize that I'm going to be doing a lot of research onto who everyone is and what they do. That way I can know who to seek out. Now that page that I showed you all their pictures, it does link to their channels if I click on them. So that is a quick way for me to run through everyone. Now, the first person that I picked on is a gaming streamer. So, and only 42.6k subs. Now, I'm not saying anything down about low sub count creators. I'm more curious as to how, okay, if a gaming streamer with 42k subs merits being on the featured creators list, how does Dr. Sherman get on the featured creators list for a convention like this? Huh. How, oh how, do I get invited to these things? I need to start talking to people about this. Apparently, there should be a route for me. Glitch still has pronoun privileges. I wrote a shame letter. You need to sign it. Others have signed it too. So just show me your signature so I can copy it onto the letter, please. Oh, no, Intern Alexander. I do not sign things that I have not personally read. Please leave it on my desk so I can give it a quick read through, especially if it's a shame letter. That sounds like so much fun. I want to read that. Then I'll sign it. I really like SCP. Well, intern Q-Dubs, glad to hear it. The SCP Foundation is pretty dope. Aoki, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. You have upgraded them to a 3-star Containment Hazard Assessment Team. 2 stars away from a 5-star team. Radiger has let her rattlings loose. Am I to assume this means that Radiger has ended stream and this is a raid of some sort? Either way, shout out to Radiger, your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber. Does anyone here also love SCP-3199? I do believe, intern Larry, that you will find some SCP-3199 fans in the chat. If only for when they are being served up at the commissary. I gotta tell you, those eggs, real big. It's a choice omelet. Also, because I didn't say it, I just acknowledged it, but hello to all the Radiger stream followers. Welcome to Site 42. I am glad to be your second best choice rank stream of the day. First, the Backrooms, now Siren Head, and the Mandela Catalogue. I know, Intern Yellow. It is insanity. The Hollywood system has found a way to get people under 30 into theaters, and they are attacking. What do you mean Zach Kreger is writing the Siren Head movie? What do you mean Steven Spielberg is producing the Mandela Catalogue movie? When is it SCP's turn? When is it SCP's turn? Don't forget Slender Man. They technically got it first. Oh, that's correct, Memori. I would never forget that Slender Man also needs a movie, having never got one at all, that we would never have made a bad Slender Man movie that no one talks about. That definitely didn't happen. So yes, Slender Man should get a good movie, for sure. But here we are, the SCP Foundation. Always the bridesmaid, and never the bride. But we're going to do it ourselves. And one of the ways we're going to do that is with you guys' generosity to send me to this big highfalutin YouTuber convention so I can hobnob, make some friends with the SCP, make some friends of the SCP Foundation. I can bring them into the fold. They will be one of us. One of us. Rosemary, thank you for sending sparkles to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will enjoy cleaning up yet another glitter bomb. Dr. Lovelace, thank you for donating another rather generous donation to the Ko-Fi. Very much appreciated. Hey, Dr. Sherman, we're working on an audio drama adaptation of Target Audience. I was wondering if you could signal boost it so we can attract more voice actors. Casting Call Club Projects, SCP Vera Lovelace, dramatic reading. Interesting. Dr. Lovelace, who is we in this scenario? Just so I know, besides you, of course, who I would be promoting in this case. If you want to talk shop of this in my business email, I would love to do so because I love to help out other SCP projects. So this is the kind of thing where, yeah, hit me up on the business email. Let's talk shop. Maybe I know a guy who can jump in, give you a connection. Me and the streamer Mallow V2. Cool. Is that the Mallow that Desk has streamed with in the past? Am I correct in that assumption? There are a lot of Mallows, so I want to double check. Okay, yes, Desk is confirming. That is the same Mallow. Very impressive. Good to know. Welcome to Harvard. What's up, yo? Let me just put this link in here so I can go to it later. Dramatic reading. Woo! 200 minutes of reading. Most characters only have a handful of lines. That's something. "13 submissions, followers, 17 roles." Wow, I didn't realize there was that many characters in Target Audience. Oh boy, oh boy. Coolio! Love to see more SCP art getting made. Hells yeah. Just put that there, out of the way. Don't know what kind of voice you need, but I just got access to a pretty good mic and studio room. I mean, just shoot me a DM on Discord. Hey, Mamori, good luck out there. Reminder, Matt Pats worked in a coat closet for a large portion of his career, recording his voiceover. Computer, microphone, coat closet for sound dampening. I myself did my opening readings underneath a blanket that was draped over an ironing board. So the computer was on the floor, the microphone was here, and I was recording from the script in a blanket fort tent. So, yes, do what you can to get started, and then up your budget as you grow. My wife, who isn't a member of the foundation, just came out as trans. Is there any way to get him employed to get access of the gender switching stone? 369 Destroyer, you are going to need to talk to HR about that because you'll have to see if your healthcare plan covers your partner in this case. Usually they do, so I think you should be fine. In which case, then yes, it will just have to be a medical visitation day. Now, okay, does your spouse know that you work for the foundation? Or is this a secret? Because transitioning a civilian is going to be kind of a breach of secrecy. We would need to figure out some sort of excuse for why it worked. I mean, the Gaslight Girl Boss Gatekeep situation is not impossible. You could take your spouse on a vacation in a household without mirrors and drug them up for several months so that every time they saw the changes, they could be like, wait, did I transition? You could be like, oh, no, don't worry about it. You're just high. And then eventually, when they come out of it after an appropriate amount of time, then yes, you did transition and you've recovered. Good. I don't know. It is very complicated. Take it to HR. Ace of Luck, thank you for your first donation of today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself a strawberry daiquiri on your way past the commissary. Once I get enough money, I'll donate $100 so Dr. Sherman has to do a parody of Never Gonna Give You Up about SCP-72. This day. Dare you? What am I even supposed to... What? How do I... change the lyrics to it or something? What are you doing? I don't understand, but I hate it. Mobile Task Force Captain Hakes, congratulations on your promotion from intern to Mobile Task Force Captain here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly minted membership and service. Ace of Luck, thank you for your 1 month as a member here at Site 42 as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and service. Count your days, Dr. Sherman, Doomsday is here. Well, no, the Doomsday movie is coming out later this year. I have to go see that because I have to keep track of what Marvel entities are up to. Dr. Sherman, Junior Researcher Kepler here. Can I get some tips on getting my ideas for SCP articles greenlit / peer reviewed? So, intern Kepler, here is the dealio. So, you can always go to the SCP Wiki forums or the SCP Wiki's official Discord server, colloquially nicknamed 19 Cord after Site 19. And there you will find the green light sections and the critique forums, either on the website or in the Discord server. Now, those are staff sanctioned and mandated, critiquing areas. That is where SCP Wiki staff themselves will look at your greenlight article and greenlight it to be written, and look at your in progress article and give it critique. But they are severely understaffed and overworked due to the amount of submissions they get. So, a secondary manner in which to get critique and peer review like that is to befriend people in the SCP community, especially SCP authors. Because if you trade critique, you critique their work, they critique yours, that is the backbone of the SCP author community. Remember that editing a novel, editing a story, critique like that, is a paid position in publishing houses. You get paid to be an editor. So here in our writing community, it is a gift to be given for someone to critique your work. So trading critique is the main method people get critique on their works in the SCP community. You critique someone's work when they ask for it in a public setting. They get to know you. The more valuable your critiques, the more good your ideas on their works are, the more likely they are to come to you with good ideas on your work, and or the more likely they are to in return critique your work because you critiqued theirs. Obviously, never demand it. This is a kindly handshake deal, quid pro quo. But the more qualified the person you get to critique you, the better. So someone who doesn't know how to read probably won't give you very good critiques. Someone who can read and write but doesn't know SCP, well, at least they're a writer. At least they know standard story structure. Someone who reads a hell of a lot of SCP and understands it pretty well, that would be a good person. Someone who writes SCPs, well, now that's the gold standard. If a SCP author critiques your work, you're probably getting some pretty good critique from it. Hope this advice helped. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say, can I be promoted to SCP Psychologist? I think I could really help the anomalies be more comfortable at the facility. You want a promotion right after the threat you laid on the table? The glove you slapped me with? The gun you sat on the table as a threat to me? Very bold of you, Ace of Luck. Better watch yourself. Intern Red, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some punch on your way past the commissary. And hey, it's been a minute. Hope you've been doing well. I took SCP-096 out to dinner. Well, since you are not dead and I'm not hearing reports of multiple deaths, it must have been in a universe where SCP-096 has overcome its shyness, typically due to the Overcoming Shyness book gathered from the Tenda village. Therefore, happy for you and your lack of demise. I'm sure you had some very great conversations about SCP-096's work as a TikTok influencer. I'm stuck in SCP-3008. Bro, help me. Sorry, Intern Bull. The door to SCP-3008 moves. It's not like we can tell you where the door is. I'm actually quite shocked you've got signal here to broadcast to us. But, yeah, best of luck. Sorry for you. Any advice on what to look for when giving critique? Intern Nolono, when you are giving critique on an SCP story, first and foremost, there's the general SPAG. SPAG stands for spelling, I don't remember what SPAG stands for. It's general corrections. I'm looking up for exactly. Spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Did they use the right words? Did they spell those words right? So you do a SPAG check. Now, sometimes the author will say, hey, this is a rough draft. I know there's a lot of SPAG errors. Don't worry about those. And in that case, don't worry about those. But very often they'll want you to check SPAG because when you are writing an SCP, you go over it so many times that your eyes start to blur and you don't see every little detail. And so it's really easy to miss spelling errors. Now you can help that by reading it out loud, which forces you to say every word and look at every word. And that'll help you to find spelling errors that you might not have. Floofy, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. After you do a SPAG check, the next thing you check for is clinical tone. Is the SCP written like an SCP? Does it have the correct sections? Does it have the correct clinical tone, the serious, somewhat technical manner of speech we use in SCP documents? I remember a very long time ago when I was doing the SCP Site 42 Critique Lab show, where I would have prospective SCP authors on, and I would personally critique their works on stream, so they could understand my perspective on it at least. And I had one person who was I don't remember, I think they were a PhD candidate or something, but they turned in this technical document that was so thorough that it was actually really hard and boring to read because they wrote an actual technical document. And SCPs are not actual technical documents. They are clinically toned creepypastas. So you got to thread the line of what's good for a story versus what an actual technical document would be. After that, you start to look at things, story details. Does the story make sense? Does it resonate with you? Does it need something that might improve it to recommend? So there's a lot. Those are these different things you could be looking at when you do a critique of someone's work. I hope that helped. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, do, do. Oh, pardon me. We are 1 hour and 7 minutes into this stream that we said will last 2 to 3 hours depending on stream energy. By the way, as a time check. Intern Red, thank you for donating again to say. Can I get some D-Class to play hide and seek with SCP-173? No. That seems like a waste of D-Class, and the risk of a breach is quite high. Denied. Intern Zinc Z. Oh, Intern Red brought 096 on a haha blind date. I see. Also, that just reminded me of something that intern DJ told me about in a comment on a video. So, on the subject of SCP 906, on the subject of SCP-096, apparently, SCP-9060 is a take on SCP-096, where if you kill SCP-096, then someone else becomes a new SCP-096, which is horrifying. SCP-9060 refers to a viral cognitohazardous phenomenon that causes a person, designated -1, to enter a violent state when their full face is viewed by another human, whether directly via video recording, photography, or on a social media platform. -1 instances will display signs of emotional distress, including crying, screaming, and incoherent speech, as they pursue -2. Subjects will only move in a straight line towards their target, regardless of potential for physical damage, death, or further exposure. In the state, -1 instances display heightened speed and strength, running up to 100 kilometers per hour and lifting up to 200 kilograms. Once -1 makes contact with -2, it will attempt to kill and consume -2 until no trace of the victim is left behind. Once these activities are complete, -1 subjects return to their normal state of mind with full awareness of their actions despite the inability to rationalize them. Should an instance of -1 expire before it kills and consumes all instances of -2, all instances of -2 become instances of -1. So this is not literally 096, but it is 096-like. And it does link back to 096 at the end. So I'm going to have to read this in full to catch up on the new canon lore on 096. Oh, brother. SCP-9060, codename Shyness, for those who are curious. Intern Wu, welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. I see some more donations have come in. Let me get caught up. Intern Johnny Coke, thank you for sending that karaoke puppy or whatever that was. Husky. I see. I'm sure the chat enjoyed the husky song. Continuing in the donations. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say, my first session would be 096 and having a D-class look at its face when it has no physical way of acting upon it to get it to stop freaking out each time. In what manner do you expect to stop 096 from acting upon it? How are you going to stop 096 from acting upon it? Ace of Luck. Give me your experimental diagnosis and standards here. Johnny Coke, thank you for sending a grand total of 68 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team, besides giving them 13 prestige ranks. As a chat, you have also made the Containment Hazard Assessment Team a 2-star team. So many prestige ranks, but now a 2-star team needing to work the way back up to 5. Johnny Coke, thank you for your first super chat of today's stream. Grab yourself a Coke float on your way past the commissary. You then sent another litany of, you sent a doubloon. I'm sure the chat will appreciate the doubloon. You then sent another assault of stars, a PK star storm, if you will. 27 stars, which is 5 more prestige ranks. And now the chat is a 4-star team. Containment Hazard Assessment Team, you are 1 star away from a 5-star rating. Let's see if you find it. Intern Sparkite, thank you for sending 5 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I am sure they will spend them wisely. Red, thank you for donating again to ask, what if I looked at SCP-096 and it fell into the back rooms? SCP-096 has a psychic tether to the location of whoever sees its face. This means that if it fell into the back rooms, it would know exactly where to go to no-clip out of the back rooms and get you. So it's not going to save you. Tomas Mila, thank you for your 13 months as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and your service. Hello, Dr. Sherman. How's the fluffy candy I sent you? It does have quite the interesting texture. I'm not averse to fluffy foods like kiwis or something, but that's usually very fine hair. This is quite a lot more. It's certainly interesting. Intern Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say, Dr. Sherman, if SCP-049 found the cure to the pestilence that wasn't killing people and bringing them back, would it become a safe SCP? No, because safe does not refer to danger. It refers to containment difficulty. And 096 is a living, thinking anomaly, which means it has a capability to think of an escape plan, which means it is by default Euclid. I'm trying to do art commissions now, but I don't know how much to charge help. Intern Hunter Mark, what I would do is I would look at other artists who draw similarly to you, both in style and skill level, and negotiate your rates against theirs to find what's fair. Hello, people, and I'm surprised that I was the one that broke the news about the Mandela Catalogue. Intern Charger, yes, thank you for that news flash. Congratulations, everyone. Give Charger a hand for tagging me in today's news of the day. I appreciate when you guys bring different news to my attention that I can talk about on stream, whether it's SCP news or other internet horror or pertinent subjects to us as an SCP fandom. I definitely appreciate the lifeline to the news from you guys. And yes, Charger, you did catch me at the gym on leg day, and I was so enraged that I'll tell you what, the amount of weight I was lifting went up. The adrenaline surge was real. These strong dance boy legs move some plates. Thanks to you, so thank you. And yes, as a quick reminder of what Charger is talking about, since it's the stream subject and many of you might have not have been here at the beginning. It was announced yesterday that Zach Kreger, director of Weapons and Barbarian, is on board to write the Warner Brothers Siren Head movie. A multi-million-dollar deal was granted. Trevor Henderson got one hell of a payday, and there will be a Siren Head movie from Warner Brothers with Zach Kreger in the writing phase. That's fucking awesome. But also, why not SCP? And then today, Charger in the chat showed me that Amazon MGM Studios, with Steven Spielberg producing, is going to make the Mandela Catalogue movie. And that's awesome for Alex Kister. And I'm glad that Alex Kister and Trevor Henderson and Kane Pixels all got their bag on the internet to movie pipeline. But why not the SCP Foundation? And we all know why. It's because they're all afraid of the Creative Commons, even though there is a clear path to the SCP fandom funding these things. But SCP Gallionic just raised over $300,000 to make a 20-minute anime-style short film. Imagine the numbers that an SCP movie in theaters would make at the box office. We would make the millions made by the Backrooms movie look cheap by comparison. Markiplier's Iron Lung movie was a very, very niche game with a very strong YouTube presence. Backrooms was a YouTube series. Mandela Catalogue's a YouTube series. The SCP Foundation is older than all of this. It is vaster than all of this. We have so many stories to give. We have so many things that could make excellent TV series, animated shows, short films, feature films. Yes, while I am proud of every creator who has successfully made that jump, I am a bit frustrated at being always a bridesmaid, never a bride. And I'm going to continue my quest to make the SCP Foundation movie and games and series happen. And the current way that you, Site 42 staff, can help me with that is to give a little bit of an extra donation this month to the Site 42 coffers. because there is a very large YouTuber convention happening in my hometown, a stone's throw from where I work. And I will be able to hobnob and network with some very large and prominent YouTubers in the film and tech space. I will be able to communicate with YouTube staff in person to make my case that the SCP Foundation needs more support. I will be able to learn from these larger YouTubers how to be a better YouTuber myself and to spread that knowledge to the Site 42 fam as well as the greater SCP community. And so, if you have the capability to donate a little extra this month to the coffers, please do, and I thank you for giving me this opportunity that is usually only reserved for rich bitches. That is a $850 to $1,550 ticket, depending on which one we get, as well as me giving work. It's not something I would do on my own, but if we as a community can fund it, I will be our diplomatic representative to the greater YouTube community. And so I thank you for your service if you are able to help me out with this. And a reminder, if you're giving a larger donation for this, that YouTube takes 30% of every super chat. And if you're donating from Apple phone, they also take 30% of your super chat. So, giving your donation through Ko-Fi, which only takes a 3% of the total as a service charge, makes your donation go a lot further, and we appreciate the effort. Oh yes, and there is one more donation incentive for today, which is whoever donates the most in a single donation gets to pick today's credit song. The current winner is Dr. Vera Lovelace, who is winning by 1 penny, funnily enough. But they have chosen a song that I will have to learn. I am bringing this up not only because to remind you of the incentive, but because I did have a song relative to us always getting shafted and not getting a movie while all of our friends in the SCP or in the internet horror community do. I was going to sing Robin, Dancing on My Own. I'm in the corner, watching you kiss her. Oh, oh. I'm right over here. Why can't you see me? Oh. I'm giving it my all, but I'm not the girl you're taking home. Oh, I'm just dancing on my own. That was going to be the credit song if I did not have a suggestion for credit songs. Because, yes, we are in the corner watching them kiss her. Oh, whoa. One day, it will be our time, SCP community. Until then, we will watch, like the Squidward meme, outside the window of SpongeBob and Patrick running in the fields. And by SpongeBob and Patrick, I mean the back rooms, Siren Head, and the Mandela Catalogue getting movies. What the hell? Did you find out anything about the Ottoman Empire listing? Intern Nolono. No, I forgot to look into that. That is now a next week in adventure to go check out the Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire that is located 30 minutes from my office. What do you mean? That Google Maps has a Captain Clark's Ottoman Empire. Okay. There's a couple donations that have come in. Let me get caught up. Intern Ash, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You made them a 5-star team again. Dr. Goofball Dingle, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They get a prestige rank and they are back down to a 1-star team. Make your way back up to 5 if you can, chat. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say. There's got to be a material 096 can't destroy. Put it in a cage with no physical way of breaking it and see how long it takes for it to calm down. Do you know? what its current cage is made out of in the containment procedures? It doesn't last very long during a rage state event. You find a material that 096 can't break through. I invite you to try. Freddie Rules, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They just became a 2-star team. They're on their way back up to 5. NSW, thank you for becoming a level 1 researcher here at Site 42. We appreciate your membership and service. All of you in the chat suggesting SCP-022-J can get a titanium fist into the balls. Whatever extrusions of roundness are on your body will get a titanium punch. It is not a super tough super metal. You will be punished for your infection with SCP-022-J-1. Joke's on you, I don't have balls. Yes, desk, but your drawers do have knobs. Watch yourself. Intern Pogi, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself some Pocky on your way past the commissary. And since you didn't send a message with your donation, simply thank you for your generosity. Jackson Toby, thank you for sending a glitter bomb for the chat to clean up. I'm sure they'll appreciate that. And then you sent them 2 stars, bringing them to a 4-star team. They are currently 1 star away from being a 5-star rated chat. Good luck, chat. Dr. Goofball Dinkle, thank you for sending 3 doubloons to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they'll spend them wisely. Red, thank you for donating again to say, what if SCP-343 fought SCP-692? Well, what is SCP-692? I don't know. While I look it up, intern Duck Girl, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. 692, codename Revives the Colors, comprises 57 packages of Vicer rice washing powder secured by Foundation from a general store in the Czech Republic. So it's washing powder. When an article of clothing is exposed to SCP-692, 15 minutes long with a living multicellular organism, the article will spontaneously animate. So it makes your clothes comes to life. Okay. Why is SCP-343 going to get in fight with washing powder? I mean, 343 is a reality bender. I assume it'll just poof it out of existence, but what? Why? Does the washing powder animated clothing attack people? Yes. Actually, yes, one of the instances did become violent. So, good to know. Watch out for the washing powder animated clothing. Ace of Luck, thank you for donating again to say, a cage made of Nokia 3310. Listen. Do not cite the old magic to me. I had a Nokia 3310 phone. I am familiar with the power it contains. But what you're forgetting is a very important trope of fiction called conservation of ninjutsu. If you're unfamiliar, a quick summary. Conservation of ninjutsu is the phenomena where in a fictional universe, one ninja is a highly powerful force that will easily defeat your main characters. But a litany of ninjas, a group of ninjas, the more ninjas they are, the weaker they become. 20 ninjas is cannon fodder for the heroes. 1 ninja is a threat. And so, yes, while the Nokia 3310, a phone, is very powerful, making a cage out of it inherently weakens the material. Conservation of ninjutsu. For more information, go check out the Conservation of Ninjutsu document on our sister wiki, TV Tropes. TV Tropes will ruin your life, but you will become hecking smart about storytelling. SCP is affiliated with TV Tropes. Just Pit. Not literally, but since we are both nerd wikis, there is a -J on the SCP wiki referencing TV Tropes, and there is the TV Tropes page for SCP is similarly memeified because we have crossover. Let's see, SCP TV Tropes -J. How do I find the -J TV Tropes article? You go to the jokes and type tropes. See, that's the problem. It's not called TV Tropes on the main page. I'm going to search the database. That'll work better. Who the hell signed me out of my terminal? Steve! What were you doing on my terminal? You know it can barely handle opening video files. You gotta be careful with this until the budget gets increased. You better not have been looking at busty Asian beauties again. TV Tropes has mentioned on the SCP Wiki 119 times. Now, where is the -J that addresses TV Tropes? Does Joke? Yeah, Joke limits it. SCP-4445-J. Codename Disinformation Campaign Operation Trident Valley. SCP-4445-J. Codename Disinformation Campaign Operation Trident Valley. Description: 4445 is a website masquerading as a repository of common tropes from popular culture that serves as a clearinghouse for the recruitment of SCP Foundation personnel from the general population. The website may be found here, linked to TV Tropes. A Class 7 memetic filtration program has been incorporated into every third letter in the article at the top of said page and will trigger immediate feelings of revulsion, also known in technical parlance as squick, in 90% of the human population. The 10% who have the mental fortitude to deal with world-shattering artifacts on a daily basis will proceed to the public repository, where a psionic compulsion will be implanted in their minds in order to encourage them to cooperate with Foundation interests. So yes, TV Tropes is a Foundation disinformation campaign and ploy for recruitment. Very good. Intern Hunter Griffin and intern Russian Spy. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Let me double check the Ko-Fi, see if there's any notifications I missed. Oh, yes. Hello, Dsoh. Dsoh has a Ko-Fi donation. Thank you, Dsoh. Please don't take anything from the commissary to make more anomalous drugs, if you please. Fine, fine. You are twisting Dsoh's arm. Get that bag, Dr. Sherman. Pick up wedding dress from Lost and Found, Flandrian House. Bride will be fine. This is a standard non-anomalous wedding dress, I assume. Also, I need to lose a couple more pounds before I look good in a wedding dress. Give me a couple of weeks. My physique has not slimmed that much yet. All right, returning to the chat. NSW, thank you for your first donation of today's stream, as well as recently becoming a member. Grab yourself a hot link on your way past the commissary. The janitors aren't happy with that glitter bomb. Yes, I know, and yet people keep sending them. I can understand it's very frustrating, but we are at the mercy of the Containment Hazard Assessment team during these briefings. Intern Rosemary, thank you for donating again to say. What do you mean it's easy to contain 096 as long as you respect its boundaries and don't look at its face? Well, it stays contained as long as you do that until someone sees its photo and then it flees and then we have to recontain it. That's the problem. Intern Harduck, love your videos. Great to see you live. Well, thank you very much, Intern Harduck. Yes, we're happy to do our best to make fun and entertaining and informative SCP Foundation briefings. Glad you appreciate them. And yes, we have been streaming every single day for the last year and 2.5 months. We have not missed a single day. The daily stream streak remains strong. So thank you for joining us. The algorithm has finally brought you to us. And make sure to hit that notification bell so you don't miss us when we go live, because we do go live at different times every day. So it's hard to keep it consistent with all the chaos here at the SCP Foundation. So yes, hit the bell to be notified when we go live, or join the Site42 Discord server if you are 18 or older, as well as able to find it because you're a clever person. Because I ping the YouTube live alert roll before each stream, which is more reliable than the YouTube subscription bell. Oh, it turns out I did miss a Dsoh, an earlier Dsoh. That was not Dsoh's first donation to the Ko-Fi. Sorry to Dsoh. Yeesh. Sure, man, if you are going to network, please tell YouTubers of lovely Dsoh business of laundry and tan. Promise negative 20% coupon in thanks to give to people you dislike. You trust Dsoh. A negative 20% discount. Here's a coupon, you have to pay more. That's actually really funny. Dsoh, I'm impressed. That's good marketing. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Dsoh articles are hilarious and are a great way to get people into the SCP Foundation. So I'm not saying I won't bring up Dsoh in conversation over the weekend, because it's possible. Cloud Rose, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Please grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. 2 things. How would the contingency from Stellaris be hypothetically contained? Also, you heard anything about Ultrakill? Curious about seeing how the machines, angels, or even demons would be contained. Will that be a video if wider interest is shown? So, I will admit, doing daily streams, as well as trying to rehab my ankle to get back into shape, and still keeping up my day job, has kept me from renewing the X is not an SCP series with the full vigor I wish to. Those scripts keep getting longer and longer because I keep getting more picky as I age and want it to be better and better. So it's a slower process, and I have less time. So we're going to get to that. eventually. But in the meantime, Ultra Kill, they're all in hell. So they're clearly contained and we don't have to worry about them. Now, the contingency from Stellaris, I am unfamiliar with. So what do they do? Contingency, Stellaris. One of the endgame crises. That's so bright. Will you be not bright? Thank you. It is an ancient frenzy's artificial intelligence whose purpose is to sterilize all life in the galaxy once it reaches a certain level of technological advancement, wiping out all organics and also all synthetics who fail to fall under its control. So, that's a XK event for sure. A year after the final event, the contingency will activate. Every 50 days, 1 to 4 randomly unhabitable planets will transfer to sterilization hub. AI world and spawn a defense station, 3 attack fleets, blah, blah, blah. Cannot be invaded, must be instead be bombed until they reach 50% devastation, which they turn into broken planets with deposits of energy, minerals, and... Okay. So, we would have to be in a full-on space-bound foundation. This is very future tech for us. We don't have this in the modern day. So we would get creamed if these guys came after us current day. But in a far-flung future, 2 versions of the SCP Universe version of this is horror story where we are monitoring this conflict from afar and watching the universe end. And the Foundation is just trying to research ways to save itself after this is encroaching on us closer and closer. Or this would be something we have to find the AI that runs it and contain it, and then we would have weird interviews with it. That's how that would go overall. Thank you, Cloud Rose, for your questions. What is the Dr. Sherman's longest stream? How many hours? Intern Enzo, based on the camera battery that we have, the longest stream we have run for the daily streams is just over 5 hours. Now, the longest stream of all time would be the 24-hour charity streams that we did for the San Francisco LGBTQIA Center. We did that several Halloweens in a row, raising a couple $1,000s here and there, which was very nice. All right, I did not miss any more Ko-Fis. It looks like we're clear there. Back to chat, catching up. Red, thank you for donating again to say. SCP-297 versus SCP-682. Now you want... What? So, Steely Dan, the anomalous nuclear-powered vibrator with a YouTube Terms of Service unalive setting that basically vibrates so fast it turns you into liquid paste. We found it because it had dug itself like a jackhammer through several floors of an apartment building into the parking garage. However, SCP-682, while being pulverized, can easily adapt and recover from such a fate. So Steely Dan is not going to stop 682. Stormfelt, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they appreciate the doubloon to spend. Project, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Please grab yourself a plate of chicken wings on your way past the commissary. I love your content. Well, simply thank you for appreciating the work we do. We try to provide informative and entertaining briefings into the works of the SCP Foundation. And thank you for your generosity in supporting the project. I know the writer for Abandoned by Disney has joked about wanting to make a copyright-free adaptation of his story. I do have him in my contacts, so I'm reaching out to him to see if he wanted. What? What? What is it? What is the last it? What are you talking about, Charger? Intern MKI and Min. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. If you want a movie on Abandoned by Disney. Ah, okay. Sure. More internet things getting to be movies before the SCP Foundation. I see. SCP has the good lore that would make a very good movie, and the Mandela Catalogue barely has any reason to become a movie. Now, first of all, intern Lalo, I try to give my best benefit of doubt to oncoming projects. I hope they succeed, even if I don't really know how. Have we had a movie that really qualifies for kind of the analog horror meta yet? I don't know, has analog horror had a movie yet? The internet is saying Skinamarink kind of counts. Late Night with the Devil kind of counts. And the VHS series, okay. Huh. Maybe. Yes, I'm not sure. I mean, obviously, the Mandela catalogs, duplicates, doppelgangers, whatever they're called. That kind of movie is easy to make a horror movie around. I don't remember a lot of the Mandela catalog lore, but I would be interested in seeing how it goes. Would the Backrooms movie count for analog horror by chance? I don't think so. I think it was a pretty traditional movie, based on a creepypasta, but it was a rather traditional film. Blair Witch Project, I guess, could found footage and analog horror can cross over. I guess there's a Venn diagram central there. Alternates, thank you, Charger. Alternates is what I was looking for Mandela Catalog. So yes, when it comes to the current slate of movies, Backrooms is the one I thought would have the most potential because Kane Parsons has a big explorable space that's horrifying and weird, has entities inside that's horrible and weird. The lore that Kane Pixel's Backrooms specifically has was great for a film idea. Now, I knew that was going to be okay from the start. Mandela Catalog, the alternates are interesting. You got freaky. I wonder how the freaky looks are going to look and how they're going to do the lo-fi-ness of the analog horror aspect. But at least in concept, that's a pretty basic horror concept. I do wonder what the hell they're going to make a Siren Head movie out of. Not that I don't trust Zach Kreger and the other writer. It's just, it's a big thing in the woods. So that's the one I'm least understanding with at the moment. But hey, you never know. I would love to see them be good. That's my hope. And I'd also love to see them take the SCP movie, finally! What are your thoughts on Five Nights at Freddy's? Intern Nick. I would say those are generally fine movies. I am a fan of the FNAF series. I don't follow it completely deeply, but I watch a lot of videos on the lore. I'm entertained by it. And I think they're fine. I don't think they're great, but they're enjoyable enough. I kind of leave them feeling a little empty for both of them. Like, yeah, that was fine. Not like good. But hey, better than Uwe Boll movies. Fuck that guy. For you old heads, you remember the Uwe Boll series of movies, especially the video game adaptations. Woof. Woof. Honestly, the Backrooms movie ain't that great in my opinion because they only had level 0. Hey, Intern Lalo, they did have the pools. They did have the pools. I laughed when I saw the pools. I was like, oh, I get that reference. But, oh, did I just see... Did I actually... Was that legitimate? I'm terrified, actually. Was that actually real? Yes. I forgot to mention. The Pool Rooms seems to be getting a movie. The Pool Rooms seems to be getting a movie, if I'm remembering correctly. Let me make sure I'm not giving fake news. I'm trying to find an actual article. Officially titled The Pool's an upcoming horror releasing in theaters Christmas Day 2026. So yes, The Pools is a legitimate movie that's happening according to this AI. Don't trust the AI. Find the real thing. Screen Rant. New Backrooms-inspired horror movie The Pools officially releasing this Christmas. The Pools is being released this Christmas as new information comes about the upcoming film. Liminal states the Backrooms helped inspire plenty, blah, blah, blah. Rebel Raider Media and Grit Picture Show have announced The Pools, a horror movie that pulls inspiration from the Backrooms, set to release later this year. The Pools blends elevated horror with psychological suspense as audiences descend into a sprawling maze of endless swimming pools, towering water slides, flooded corridors, hidden chambers. Every passage leads to another unexplained environment. Every discovery reveals another mystery. And no clear way out seems to exist. Who's directing? Who's making this? The Pools is produced by Sasha Yalon, Eyes in the Trees, and Galen Christie of Glass, along Alexander Kane, Breach, for Grit Picture Studios. So I don't know any of those names, so I cannot stand to how The Pools is going to be. But yes, the Pool Rooms are getting their own movie this Christmas. I thought that was fake. I thought that was a joke. And I just looked it up and it's actually real. Oh. Hello, Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie. Yes, the chat does need you, for we are failing to get an SCP movie very thoroughly. The Pool Rooms is getting a movie before SCP. Here you go, baby girl. Chat appreciated your adorable, calming presence. Intern Falcon, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They have now another prestige rank and are still a 4-star ranked team, so 1 star away from 5-star. Dr. Sherman, how is Brian? We haven't heard from him in a while. Yes, Brian is burrowing deeper into my shoulder, but is doing better to hang around between the bone and muscles in a manner that is causing me less pain. We are still waiting for Brian to mature to the point where we can remove Brian. But Brian is also rapidly maturing and is being less immature, singing random songs and making strange noises in the psychic connection to my head. Almost starting to like the little parasitic centipede. Sheeny, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, as well as being a member. Thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. Grab yourself a Coquito on your way past the commissary. Listen, give me every and all internet-based horror movies at once. SCP, Gemini Home Entertainment, Local 58, Mandela Catalogue. I don't care, do them all. Listen. Listen. Here's my pitch. Take me up on it, guys. Too Many Cooks, feature-length edition. Bonus points. The song is now stuck in your head. You're welcome. Just read the title and holy shit. Yeah, Sharkosaurus intern. We are getting a Siren Head movie, Mandela Catalog movie, Pool Rooms movie. We've already had the Back Rooms. We've already had Internet Horrors having a whole thing. And SCP needs its break. Let us in. Let us in. Mandela Catalog movie. That's right, intern winner wannabe. Steven Spielberg is set to produce the Mandela Catalog movie. And SCP is still waiting for someone to invest in us to give us a movie deal. We will get there. And by the way, reminder of our sponsorship. There is a giant, famous YouTuber convention happening right next door to my house, basically. And I am not invited. I don't get invited to these things. The SCP Foundation is rather niche. But I'm trying to raise the funds from the SCP and Site42 communities to purchase the very expensive tickets. The industry tickets are $850. The VIP tickets are $1,500. But if we can all fundraise me to do this, I will be our representative and try to befriend and get YouTubing tips from these fancy YouTubers. And I will try to convince them that the SCP Foundation is cool and they should actually pay attention to us and try to spread the good word of the SCP community. I will be our consultant as I can. And so, to be pleased, there's a lot of interesting YouTubers in the tech and film space that will be present at this event. Some of which would be very good connections for me to make for both my own YouTube career, to pass on knowledge to the other SCP YouTubers, and other game devs and filmmakers along the way, as well as Corridor Crew and their connection to Markiplier, which would be a good connection to make. And so, yes, if you've got extra to donate right now, I would appreciate it, so I can go to this and work my networking magic to get us some good connections. Let Me Explain Studios, I do believe, was on the list, yes. Also, if you guys know any of the people on this list, go to the Open Sauce 2026 website. Open Sauce is the name of the convention. If you guys know any of these people and what they do, and if it would be very useful for me to engage with them at the convention, please shoot me an email about that to my business email. Tell me who you think I should be interacting with, prioritizing. I think I saw a Ko-Fi notification. Let me grab that before I forget it exists. Apparently I was wrong. I did not see a notification. I saw something else. But Doomsday Master, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some Takis on your way past the commissary. Hey, Dr. Sherman, quick question. What is SCP-1992? I heard about it, but can't find too much info. Well, first and foremost, you need to go to the SCP database. There, the documentation for SCP-1992 should be very easy to read. scpwiki.wikidot.com. 1992 is the indecisive mobile home. It's a mobile home in Kentucky, contains a living room, 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a spare room, a closet. According to available historical records, it was constructed in the 1950s. If a sapient organism enters, they may cause a -1 entity to manifest. -1 are simple humanoids, superficially resembling the person who entered. Moving between rooms within 1992 causes one instance of -1 to manifest at each available exit, which will then act out of a situation that could have occurred if the subject had moved in that direction, similar to the long-term effects of exposure to SCP-1813. So it clones you, and it does what you might have done if you didn't do it. Interesting. Go check out SCP-1992 on the database for more information. Sharkosaurus, thank you for sending 2 floating hearts to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they feel the love. Kuro, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they will spend it wisely. And Falcon, thank you for sending a single star to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. They are now finally a 5-star ranked Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Congratulations, chat. I saw someone say Corridor Crew would be a good person to engage with because they have worked with movie people before. You're damn right. They work with a lot of visual effects people. And so they work with people in the CGI VFX industry. Obviously, if we're going to make an SCP movie, we want to make inroads with that community, especially because artists, they're pretty passionate about making art. If we tell them, hey, there's this awesome SCP community with thousands of stories that are Creative Commons that you can just make stuff for fun, they might want to get involved. So part and parcel of this is that making connections and inroads with these YouTubers could lead to friendships and being referenced to different people who might be interested in SCP in the future, which is why, dear Lord, the more FaceTime I can get with these people, the more likely it works, which is why I'm hoping to make our way to the full VIP treatment. As expensive as it is, it gives us the most opportunity for behind-the-scenes talks with these people, for me to engage them in the SCP Foundation community. So please, if you have spare funding this month to donate to the cause, I need to raise about $2,500 total to not pay for this out of pocket, which obviously me paying for some of it out of pocket is not criminal. I'm still going to this convention, and I don't have to buy a hotel or travel, which is very convenient. But it would be nice to not take such a large hit. After all, we are an arts community. We understand starving artists, right? I also believe that unknowingly, maker of Man in the Suit is also aiming for a movie, but I might be remembering wrong. I do believe they would have to make the effort to de-Godzillify their work if they want to make that a movie, probably. Just a guess. Falcon, thank you for sending 5 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment Team. I'm sure they appreciate still being a 5-star team, as well as having an extra prestige rank. A flat donation of $1,000, and Dr. Sherman will wear an SCP-729. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, -J1Z for a week of stream. I will be so angry if that happens. I'll also record Bottle Dick as Clef. That would be very funny. Also, we can't forget that Poppy Playtime had a movie announcement back in 2024. I don't remember that, actually. I don't remember that happening, but it's been a couple of years. I guess we'll be hearing about it soon if it's working, functioning, being made, and about to come out. Is Tung Tung Sahur an SCP? No, Intern Raptor. Tung Tung Sahur is not an SCP. It is not an SCP on the SCP dump. How much money have you gotten so far, if you don't mind me asking? Intern Small Speed Bump. We started raising funds for this in approximately 2 days ago. And so on that first day, we had about $300 in donations. The next day, we ended up with an additional $100 to $150 of donations. This is all rough numbers because it's hard to tell what are normal super chats and what are actually directed donations towards this cause. If you specify it in your message, then I'd appreciate it. And now today, we've had another approximately 100 to 150 donated. So we're looking at about 600 donated. That gets me pretty close to the industry insider ticket. And then I would just have to front the cost of missing work for the whole weekend, 3 days of work. Anything we can do to blunt that, I would appreciate. And if we can push it far enough to get the VIP ticket with all the behind-the-scenes lounge and access, that would be an additional $700, but it would be a lot better of a shot for getting to talk to these people and getting our foot in the door. We'd have a lot more FaceTime that way. I was kind of disappointed with the story of the latest Poppy Playtime. Didn't like how the prototype looked, which is the reason I may dislike it so much. All I know about Poppy Playtime is that Chapter 5 made Markiplier very angry. Markiplier was very mean in a constructive but angered criticism of Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, if my recollection serves. And trust me, I don't mind Markiplier being angry at a game. I am not faulting Mark at all. Intern Plugdoc, or Plugdoc. That's a little weird of a name. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Very simple questions I'm seeing in the chat. Intern Feral, we've already talked about 096 and a mirror several times. 096 knows what it looks like. It doesn't care. It will not attack itself. But you've now made it so there's 2 chances in that room for you to see 096's face instead of 1. Bad plan. And then Action Figure Wrestling. SCP-4666 can teleport anywhere in the world above the latitude line, meaning that 096 could never catch it. It would keep running across the world, killing people in its wake, but it would never catch 4666. Bad plan. Intern My Little Eye, the Everything Tree, does not functionally copy SCP-500. Read the documentation for the Everything Tree again. It didn't work. The pills that were produced were not as efficacy-laden as the originals. They were not as effective. Site 42 staff, we have approximately 53 minutes left in this office hours. 53 minutes. Would SCP-682 die if he fell from Earth from the Carmen line? Well, first of all, intern Bake. SCP-682 is an it, not a he, not a she. It's an it. We do not humanize the anomalies here at the SCP Foundation. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. It's an object, not a person. And if it fell from a high height, it would not cause 682 to die. That is blunt force trauma. We know it can easily regenerate from such a thing. It would splat. It would be very funny, but then it would reconstitute itself and wreak havoc. What if you guys use the coffee machine to make a liquid version of SCP-500? Once again, the coffee machine does not generate liquid. It has to take the liquid from somewhere. If we tried to make it dispense liquid SCP-500, it would cost however many caplets it would take to make 8 ounces of liquid. We would lose the whole pill bottle, basically. Bad idea. Pardon. What happens if we use the gender switching stone on 682? Intern Nilono, I do believe we actually did that. Termination log. No, actually we didn't do that, it turns out. Funny, I seem to remember we had. Whoopsie. No, no, no. Please refresh. There we go. Apparently the audio quality has changed. Something to do with the microphone. Very interesting. Weird tech issues. Oh boy, oh boy. Dr. SCP-939 is making the sound of a dog. Help. Well, that's because it copied the voice of a dog that was on site during the last containment breach. Don't worry about it. Team help, the sun looking kind of funny. What do I do? I guess, Intern Raptor, your universe is day breaking. So I guess the answer is hide in the dark or die. Yeah, those are your only two choices, actually. What if someone tried to kill the employees from SCP-3008? Well, they do become disabled if you... it's not disembowel. It's not decapitate, although decapitating, losing the head does help. What is it when you take someone's arms off? Someone's legs? What is it when you cut someone's limb off? There's a word for that. Can't think of the word. Dismember, thank you. Desk and pit, yes. So you can dismember them to stop them, but they are drawn to their pieces so they can be put back together. And so accidentally someone brought an arm into one of the camps, and that drew the entities to the camp, at which point they broke in. So, it's not really a great idea overall. Intern Melissa, you say I have a very important question. What happened if you put 096 in 3008? That is not an important question. Correct yourself. 096 can sense where you are in space, which means even if it's lost in the infinite IKEA, if you look at a photo, it will know where you are. It will know how to get to you. It will find the door to the infinite IKEA because you led it straight to it. I'm stuck in 3008. How do I get out? Intern Legver. Find the door. Best of luck to you. Audio changed again. Can you say something? I can't hear anything. Interesting. Sounds clear. Good to know. What SCP is most scary? Alert. Intern Hidden. For my money, the SCP that I find to be the spookiest would have to be SCP-2718. If that's true, I'm not happy about it. What if I threw SCP-682 at a T-Rex? Intern Enzo. T-Rexes do not regenerate. 682 does. What do you think's going to happen? I saw an SCP short. What is the cat dimension? Well, Intern Hidden. In the SCP universe, we acknowledge the multiverse and deal with a lot of parallel dimensions, and many of those are cat related in one way or another. There is, of course, the cat made waifu dimension that is full of cat made waifus. There is the cat boy dimension. There is the just cat dimension. There's lots of cat related dimensions. Check the almanac. Intern Legver. Could I have SCP-999 for a month? No. Don't be selfish. You get your visitation time like everyone else. Please send help. I am trapped in an underwater city with crazy people that are shooting lightning at me and these robots with little girls on them collecting this red stuff from corpses. Intern Narpy. We have a diplomatic relationship with a Mr. Andrew Ryan of non-interference. We get some great research done down there in return for allowing them to play in their little water park. So, best of luck to you, but we're not interfering. Dr. Sherman, what SCPs would make the best soup? Well, I do believe the best soup anomaly would be SCP 348, codename A Gift from Dad, which is a bowl which fills with delicious soup that makes you feel better after having eaten it. Good soup. 348. There is another soup-based anomaly, SCP-2057, which is 92 cans of condensed chicken noodle soup, but it's Dr. Wondertainment's Ultralicious chicken noodle soup for kids. And if you heat it up wrong, I do believe you become a chicken. Let's see. Upon adding water and heating to 70 degrees Celsius, the egg hatches, revealing a small juvenile domesticated chicken composed entirely of egg noodles, carrot, celery, onion, and cooked chicken breast, known from this point as the -1 entity. As the broth continues to heat, the instance of 2057-1 will begin to move, vocalize in chirps, and consume the broth in which it was hatched. It will grow directly in proportion to the amount of broth consumed, reaching full size at 85 grams, resulting in a small adult chicken. When the temperature is between 35 degrees Celsius and 70 degrees Celsius, -1 functions as if it is alive, behaving similarly to a normal chicken. When dissected, it is shown to be composed entirely of edible ingredients. When the temperature falls below 35 degrees Celsius, the instant ceases movement, falling over into the remaining broth and quickly collapses into chicken noodle soup, typically ranging in temperature from 20 to 34 degrees Celsius. Below 20 degrees Celsius, the -1 entity becomes congealed and gelatinous. When eaten between 35 degrees and 70 degrees, they describe the taste of the soup. Subjects describe the soup as excellent, delicious, and homey. They report also feeling physical well-being after consuming the soup. If it's between 10 and 34 degrees Celsius, they will report it tastes bland, disgusting, and repulsive, suffer from severe cramping, chills, and diarrhea, and will make involuntary clucking sounds. If the soup is cold and then you reheat it, you turn into a chicken. Well, a disgusting, horrifying chicken man, to be exact. So, yes, 348 is definitely the best anomalous soup SCP. 2057, little scary. Dr. Sherman, is Siren Head an actual SCP? Intern Bake, no. Siren Head is a Trevor Henderson creation and is copywritten to Trevor Henderson. Not gonna lie, I don't know too much about SCPs, so... Well, Intern Ryjan, that's what you're here at this briefing for, is it not? You have your opportunity to ask a site director of the SCP Foundation questions regarding this dark and mysterious place of employment we all work. So, Intern Ryjan, please ask your questions at will. I will do my best to answer. Amber, you are correct. SCP-5031 is, in fact, a great soup cook. So that is tangentially a soup anomaly. Do you remember the hand spider? Yes, Intern Foxpaws. I do recall the floating hand spider. It is one of my most popular videos, and it is referenced very often. Is Bigfoot an SCP? Intern Maxi, yes. Bigfoot is the anomaly SCP-1000. Go check it out. Is the soup store an anomaly? No, it is just a poor choice of places to buy clothing. What if I release SCP-3812? Intern Rajan, how would you do that? Do you believe you have power over an entity that can be your author on the pataphysical narrative level above ours? We leave 3812 alone because otherwise we would be obliterated from existence. Are you holding SCP-67? No, this is a standard, non-anomalous, non-human pen. This is not SCP-067, the artist's pen, which has anomalous abilities. Intern, Animal Commonerd, Toaster Chill, and Wilson. Welcome to Site-42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Death Knife versus Shy Guy. Who wins? Intern Whitaker. I do believe that the Death Knife, SCP-5175, which for those who didn't see today's short, is a Moroccan sword that somehow is tethered to the soul of a dead Japanese samurai. And it has the ability to send any physical or incorporeal entity to the land of forsaken souls or something like that. The land of eternal suffering, if I remember correctly. Long story short, 096 would very easily be thwarted by 5175 as long as the wielder could land a hit before getting gutted. Banish 096 to the Shadow Realm is an option, but of course we wouldn't do that because then we would not be able to study it anymore. What is SCP-7000? SCP-7000 is SCP Foundation researcher Dr. William Wallace Weddell, the most unlucky man in the world. It's very humorous. Has there been an anomaly or SCP that escaped or you can't catch? Yes, intern Melissa, there are plenty of anomalies that have to be released into the field because we can't contain them, so we have to monitor them from afar. We try our best to contain them, but it doesn't always work. Help, the hand spider's trying to eat me and I have no amethyst for it. Well, you better flee to the geology division and get some amethyst. Otherwise, say goodbye to your face. Intern Hard Luck, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a loaded baked potato on your way past the commissary. Thoughts about SCP-165? What is SCP-165? I don't remember off the top of my head. Codename the Creeping Hungry Sands of Tool. Ah, yes. Terrifying anomalous parasitic mites. I hate them. I hate them a lot. I am not a bug enjoyer. And so if I were to show you that, I would say no. Hate that. They wear the sand like hermit crabs, allowing them to hide in the sand. There are billions or trillions of these parasitic dust mite anomalies hiding in sand. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Do not want anomalies on the list I would easily submit for decommissioning. I've been watching your channel for 11 years. Wow, intern justiced. That is impressive. An old school Site 42 follower. We are 11 years old, so that is a possibility. Welcome. Welcome back. Hope you've been doing well for all that time. We're doing our best here ourselves. Beast Snow, intern Beast Snow, thank you for your first donation to today's stream, and thank you for making the effort to go through the Ko-Fi. As we all know, the Ko-Fi only takes 3% of your donation as a service charge. YouTube Super Chats, YouTube gets 30% of your donation. And if you do it on an Apple phone, Apple takes 30% of your donation. So we greatly appreciate making the effort to go to the Ko-Fi so we get more of your donation. Grab yourself a cookie cake on your way past the commissary. Hello, I'm back, still working on that SCP management game, but writer's block sucks. Also, what about the soup anomaly related to dads? That's 348. We talked about that earlier. Can't remember the number, but it makes me cry. Makes a lot of people cry. Also, would the Wither Storm be considered a world-ending scenario? What was the term XK? I don't know. Yes, XK is our end of the world scenario. And what is a Wither Storm? The Witherstorm is a massive world-devouring boss monster originating from Minecraft's story mode. Spawned by placing a command block inside a standard wither recipe. Grows involves consuming nearby blocks and mobs. It remains one of the most destructive entities in the franchise. Well, how do you defeat a Witherstorm, I guess? Could we contain it? Would it end the world? What's the word up? Word up. Can a Witherstorm be killed or stopped? It being programmed by Ivor to follow the amulet through the overworld. Well, we could put the amulets in another dimension and make it go through there to lock it up. That sounds good. Yep, throw the amulet in another dimension so it follows it out of our dimension. Sounds like the only way to win. Lax Goalie, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend your doubloons wisely. You sounded young when I started watching you. Now you sound older. Well, I am older and wiser after 11 years, that's for sure. Time does pass linearly for most of us, outside of the temporal anomalies department. Intern Raijin, the King in Yellow is not an SCP. It's a different intellectual property. It is not an SCP. That's a pretty simple question. It is anomalous, of course, but it's not an SCP. To be an SCP, it needs to be anomalous. It needs to be on the SCP database as an SCP document. The King in Yellow is not an SCP document. You look like a magician. Well, I'll make you disappear into a humanoid containment cell. How about that? Magic. Fuck, I'm in the back rooms. Intern saying that's not our problem, not our jurisdiction. You have to talk to Async. The SCP Foundation does not keep track of the back rooms. Intern Snowball Blizzard. I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream, which is in approximately 25 minutes. So you can stay 25 minutes to hear my favorite SCPs, or you could donate and I'll answer immediately, or you can go to yesterday's stream and skip to the end. You have several options. Has the SCP Foundation cooperated with groups of interest like the Chaos Insurgency or Global Occult Coalition? Intern Martian. The SCP Foundation has, in the past, needed to cooperate with groups of interest for like-minded goals. For instance, we collaborated with the Global Occult Coalition, among with many other groups, in the construction of SCP-5514, the Dragon Slayer, which is our Jaeger that we use when we battle kaijus. We don't work with them unless we have to, though, because most of the time our goals are crossed with each other. They want to destroy anomalies. We want to contain and preserve them for research purposes. Beast No, thank you for donating again to say. To kill the Witherstorm, you need a command block enchanted weapon, go inside of its guts and break the command block. Or use a special potion and throw it on the command block at its earliest growth phase when it is exposed. It cannot be contained otherwise. Well, can it open dimensional rifts? Because again, we don't want to destroy the anomaly if we don't have to. If we can contain it in a dimension where we can scry it, then I'd rather study it, a la SCP-2317, than destroy it, obviously. If you could press a button that would release all friendly and helpful SCPs while simultaneously destroying the hostile ones, would you? The hell do you take me for? A traitor to the Foundation? Obviously, I would not do that. The whole goal we have is to maintain secrecy, that everything is normal so civilians can live their normal, friendly lives. That doesn't work if we release anomalies and magic objects and entities into the public. Helpful or not, they stay contained. How would I stop SCP-096? I looked at him. Intern Antho, the answer is you don't stop 096. It gets you. So I'm sorry to say, but bon voyage. Are we coming back to the creepypasta movie era? We have Slender Man and The Rake, only a matter of time before we get Jeff the Killer slasher flick. Intern Archon, did they make a Rake movie? I don't remember the Rake movie. I know that we didn't get a good Slender Man movie, that's for sure. Wish we had that. But yes, it seems like the creepypastas have taken over the internet. Or have taken over Hollywood. Now we just have to force SCP's foot through the door as well. I got a response by Slime Beast. He wants the Abandoned by Disney movie to happen if the person who offers to make the offers and a criminal is willing to make a copyright-free adaptation. Well, best of luck on that. It's not much, but on Twitter, with about 3K likes, the person with ownership of Jeff the Killer has offered to work with the studio if it is of interest, so that's not outside possibility. Isn't the Jeff the Killer owner still a contentious subject? Aren't there multiple people claiming to be the Jeff the Killer owner, or is that settled finally? I haven't kept up on the lore on that situation. Honestly, if we get a supernatural-like show where a bunch of anomalies are caught and contained, it would be kind of cool. It's all fantasy, but I have no idea where the sci-fi half of that genre is. Check out the series Eureka and Warehouse 13. Those are sci-fi channel series from back in the day. Eureka is very much what the Foundation would be like on the research side. And then Warehouse 13 is the agents in the field going to contain anomalies. That is definitely the kind of show I would want to put together, make a mesh of those if I could make my own dream SCP series. Beast No, thank you for donating again to say. While in the game, it is unable to fit inside of a standard nether portal. I do believe you could get into another dimension with a big enough portal, but it cannot create its own rifts, and that would be a bit impractical at the size it can grow to. Also, keep up the good work. Well, thank you kindly. And yes, if it can't open rifts, we can put it in another dimension if we can make the portal accessible. We could also use wormholes to shrink it to get it through the door, at least. Throw in a little bit of leverage in there somehow, and I'm in. Leverage is such a good show. Red from Overly Sarcastic Productions turned me on to Leverage, and oh my god, Leverage is such a good show. Oh. Intern Zachary, we've already tested 3108, the nerfing gun, on 682. When we did so, 682 got bigger and more scary and dangerous, because we conceptualized that as being worse. Can the Mobile Task Force agent beat John Wick? No, consider conservation of ninjutsu again. Conservation of ninjutsu states that one Mobile Task Force agent, while dangerous, John Wick is the ultimate Mobile Task Force agent, essentially. John Wick went after several Mobile Task Force agent-style goons and defeated them all. So no, John Wick is a hero character. Mobile Task Force agents are mainly nameless goons in that case. Genuine question. Do we have a John Wick-style character in the Foundation? If so, who? Not that I know of, Mamori. I don't know of a John Wick-like character outside of, like, Clef and Kendraki for battle competence. And or... probably Agent Strelnikov is pretty good. But I don't think we have such a hardcore dismantler combatant. Ligver, thank you for sending chili to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they enjoyed the spicy snack. Intern Torres, thank you for what I think is your first donation of today's stream. So let me just get this framed properly. Stop messing with me. There, that looks good for now. Grab yourself a chicory coffee on your way past the commissary. I'm starting to realize we consume similar content. Good stuff. Also, there's a problem with 049's containment unit. Us here at Site 11 will be more than happy to move him here temporarily. It for 049. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Furthermore, I will be the judge of 049's containment cell failure. We've got to be careful with that anomaly. Now we're cooking. Beast No, thank you for donating again to say. One last message before I go into lurking. What are your thoughts on Over the Garden Wall if you have seen it? In regards to the SCP management game I'm making, do you have any tips about writer's block? I could really use the help, thanks. So I have not seen Over the Garden Wall, although I hear it's very good. Something I need to look into at some point. Meanwhile, for your writer's block situation, you need to take some time away from it. You need to go do something fun to loosen up your brain, to get your mind off it, to consume other art so that you're inspired by that to do something with your game. That is, you got to walk away, go have fun, go hang out with friends, watch some movies and TV, read some books, and that can loosen it up for you. Snowball Blizzard, thank you for sending a doubloon to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am sure they will spend it wisely. Intern Torres, thank you for donating again to say, yes, that was my first dono, and my bad. Glad, I couldn't remember. It's been kind of a long stream today. We're about 14 minutes from the end of stream, by the way, of our 3-hour stream. And thank you for your generosity and also clarifying that for me. And yes, proper pronoun parlance protocols. Thank you. Dr. Sherman, what is your relationship between the administrator? Intern Enzo, I've never met the administrator. It is but one person, and the SCP Foundation is a very vast organization. Intern Hangfire, which Jesus loves us all? Is it Uber driver Jesus, bread Jesus, Vor Jesus, Cockblock Jesus, Milk Jesus, Jim Davis, creator of Garfield Jesus? Those are the 6 GZI that we, the SCP Foundation, have in containment. You have to be a little pickier when you talk to us about Jesus, because there's a lot of GZI. And which one loves us? I do not want love from Vor Jesus. Let me just tell you that. I did not enjoy my last trip to Jesus Land. Intern Official Crew, thank you for sending a star to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. You have reset them to a 1-star team with an additional prestige rank. Chat, you have approximately 12 minutes to get back to a 5-star status. Oh, Official Crew is cast PK Starstorm. We will need to see where this falls. If we go the American Gods route, every conception of Jesus is his own Jesus. I have not seen American Gods, but Archon, are you telling me that every Jesus is canon? The same as Hatsune Miku? Is that what you're telling me right now? Official crew, thank you for sending 21 stars to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. They are now a 2-star ranked team with 4 more additional prestige ranks. Meanwhile, Legver, thank you for sending another star. The chat is now a 3-star team. Almost 5 stars again. Intern Schlorbo, we're not going to put 682 into 3008 because 3008 door moves around. Honestly, that would be pretty hard to find unless you're an immortal lizard, because then you have endless time to be running around eating people, eating IKEA employees until you get to the door, because statistically you're going to find the door. You're freaking immortal. So 682 escapes, eats us again. It's a terrible idea. We're not going to do that. Black Phoenix, thank you for sending 2 stars. You got the chat to a 5-star team, but Legver sent another star, and you're a 1-star team again, with a prestige rank. Would you be happy to see SCP-999 5 feet tall and wide? Well, Hidden Assassin, I don't know that I would be particularly flummoxed. SCP-682, SCP-999 is 2 meters by 1 meter, so that's 6 feet by 3 feet. So I guess probably 999 could reconstitute to a 5 by 5 cubic situation. It's not that shocking. Black Phoenix and Legver, thank you both for sending 2 stars. You have successfully made the chat a 5-star team again. Welcome back to 5-star status, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. Why am I in my own containment cell? What? Did you think we were going to contain you in some other anomaly cell? No, you get your own. Is the SCP community still alive? Intern Empathic, very much so. The SCP Wiki has more authors than ever. More stories are being written at a higher rate than ever. In fact, they are trying to slow down the rate of writing. That way, the SCP-10K contest coincides with next June's 20-year anniversary of SCP. So yeah, things are going pretty awesome for the SCP community overall. I mean, I hit 1 million subs for SCP content this year, or last year. So yeah, pretty good overall. Sigma Ohio, thank you for your first donation of today's stream. Grab yourself a enchilada on your way past the commissary. Look up Alone World. Also, last time, I don't know why, but the nature corruption guy spelt it wrong. I think SCP Station could have a chance. So I did look up Alone World yesterday. That's where I ended up after figuring out some of what you were doing there. Don't worry about the typos. The problem is the YouTube Super Chat keyboard is insanely broken on mobile. I try to type messages to creators I'm super chatting, and it is impossible to type in that thing. Yet another good reason to use the Ko-Fi to donate. I'm just saying. Intern Torres, thank you for donating again to say. Oh, last one. Keep an eye on Discord. I have tomorrow off for the holiday, and I will suit up and send some photos of me in guard uniform. Oh, have fun in your SCP guard uniform. Site 42 staff, watch the Discord for that and I guess the media channel. Dr. Sherman, do you have your own channel? This one. This one is my channel. You're watching it. Black Phoenix, thank you for your 9 months as a level 1 researcher. We appreciate your membership and your service. We're getting a Siren Head movie. We talked about that yesterday, Black Phoenix. We're getting a Siren Head movie co-written by Zach Kreger of Weapons, Barbarian, The Whitest Kids You Know. I am super hyped, which I'm also super annoyed because frickin' Siren Head gets a movie, The Backrooms gets a movie, The Pool Rooms gets a movie. Steven Spielberg is producing the Mandela Catalogue movie. When is it SCP's turn? When? Can it be now? I'd like it to be now. Beast No, thank you for donating again to say. I decided one last message because screw it, it's almost time for me to go to bed. Someone was asking if you would read the King in Yellow play for science. Also letting you know someone put a staff member in the oven. Well, thank you for informing me of the rabble-rousing that's going on at my site. First and foremost, get the staff member out of the oven. Second of all, do not let that oven stealer from earlier steal any ovens, by the way. Thirdly, that depends on the King in Yellow thing. What happens when you summon the King in Yellow? How can we use that to our advantage to contain the King in Yellow? How can my thespian roots be used to help in such a containment endeavor? And what will happen if we do it to me? These are the questions I have before I agree to anything. What am I looking at here? There we go. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. Guys, do you think Shy Guy would beat nature's corruption, or is nature corruption more powerful? Just asking. By what I looked like yesterday, I think nature's corruption is more powerful. 096 is pretty strong, but it's not any sort of multiversal threat like the things you are speaking of. I'm actually wanting to make an SCP movie. Well, intern spy, if you get on that treadmill of making movies, let me know. I would like an SCP movie to be made, and I'm not in the position to make it myself right now, but I am in a very good position to help market one. And in fact, reminder, since we're reaching towards the end of stream, Site 42 staff, pardon. Today's stream is sponsored by the Send Dr. Sherman to the Big Highfalutin YouTuber conference that costs way too much money. But if I can go hobnob with some YouTube celebrities, learn some more about being a good YouTuber, learn them something about the SCP Foundation and get their interest, we might be able to get some tech YouTubers, some film YouTubers, some other fandom YouTubers, cosplayers into SCP. And so if you want to help me network for that and afford that, then please donate as much as possible at this point, because the tickets are hella expensive, and I'm going to have to skip work if I want to pull it off. So negative money from skipping work and giant ticket costs. The baseline ticket we're trying to get for the weekend is $850 for industry night. Ugh. The VIP ticket, which gives us more access, are $1,500. So let's do our best to subjugate that so I'm not completely broke after this weekend. The weekend being in 2 weekends. Dr. Sherman, for people who are doing super chats, type out your message in a regular comment, then copy paste it to the super chat to avoid problems. That's not a bad idea, Froy. Good thinking. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. Guys, by the way, do you think the Scarlet King would beat nature corruption, or is nature corruption even more powerful than that? Just asking. I am pretty sure Scarlet King beats nature corruption because Scarlet King is a more singular entity in a multiversal destructive manner compared to nature's corruption. He ends up reaching the multiverse and killing the multiversal god and taking over. He's now the ruler of Tio and his companion allied with the clockwork. Yeah, Confirm that he allied with Clockwork. Our Clockwork God is under the Scarlet King. So the we're just talking an extra level up when it comes to Scarlet King. Black Phoenix, thank you for sending a floating heart to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they feel the love. Do you stream every day? Yes, intern Snowball Blizzard. We stream every single day. We have been streaming every day for over a year and 2.5 months. The daily stream streak still remains strong. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. Well, actually, he's talking about someone else who is also a multiverse of threat, so really it's 2v1. What do you mean he's talking about someone who's a... What do you mean? Elaborate. So what's this stream about? Interred Funk. We are the SCP Foundation. I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director of Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. This is our daily briefing. If you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of our purview, as if they're from a different multiverse or pataphysical narrative level, i.e. fandom, then that is our, what the hell? Yes. Wait a minute. What is that? Something weird happened. Don't worry about it. Although we are at the... So does this mean Hollywood is acknowledging the Mandela effect has been a thing since the beginning? Intern Washu, I do not believe that is the case. Mandela Catalogue and Mandela effect are different phenomenon. But Site 42 staff, we are currently at the end of stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. However, I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote. That would be sheer narcissism, cheating. But if you want to read the SCPs I wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can read the SCPs I personally wrote, as well as contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over, you'll find a list of links. Links that people ask about in the chat all the time, but then they just aren't clever enough to find, even when I give very blatant hints, which is rather sad for them, but not for you, Containment Hazard Assessment Team. My chat is clever. They will find those links if they are allowed to. And so while you are there, you can become a Patreon patron or YouTube channel member to donate to us monthly. You can, of course, do YouTube Super Chats or Ko-Fi donations to donate to us one at a time. Either way, direct donations are the quickest way to help Site 42 in its mission to spread the SCP Foundation far and wide, as well as go to crazy expensive YouTuber conventions to meet industry mates of the YouTube creator sphere. That way we can teach them about the SCP Foundation. And so we thank you for your generosity in helping us to do everything we can to spread the SCP Foundation. And that goes for us here at Site 42, as well as the SCP projects we support. The SCP Wiki and its authors and artists, the SCP filmmakers, game devs, merch makers, podcasters, anything. We have the problem where Hollywood is scooping up creepypastas left and right to make movies, but they're not fucking with SCP. So we'll need to fuck ourselves. Don't take that out of context. Were you at VidCon? Ligver. VidCon is down in Los Angeles, and I do not have an easy travel, as well as the ability to skip work. Because I specifically, my cover job as a ballroom dance instructor, I work weekends, so conventions are actually quite hard for me to get to. And not skip my job, which is rough. So this is special because I don't have to travel. This open source convention I'm trying to go to is local. So I don't have to travel, I just have to skip work, which is why I'm asking for you guys' assistance on the donation side to make this happen. Sigma Ohio, thank you for donating again to say. He's also multiverse, a different entity entirely from the one you're talking about, and the TO was basically an army from space. So are you saying nature's corruption is multiverse? I thought it was a multiversal entity, like an adjective. Are you saying it's also called multiverse? Or is multiverse a different... There's the multiverse king that I read about, and that is seeming to be something that nature's corruption subverted, defeated. So multiversal king is out of the land, and nature's corruption is now the ruler. So that's only one entity. Snowball Blizzard, thank you for sending a pretty flower to the Containment Hazard Assessment team. I'm sure they loved it. Okay, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-08, just take Spooky-J, 5530, content well, that's order of read. So, Site-42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Office Hours, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site-42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Be safe, be well, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I would start the outro, but Ohio, thank you for a last-minute donation. No. Different thing, I meant multiverse, and I'm talking about Clockwork. They're both multiverse plus TO is extremely powerful, having show minions. So, just because something is multiversal doesn't mean it's multiversally powerful. You can travel the multiverse and still be fairly weak. The Scarlet King is both multiversal and is a destroyer of the entirety of the multiverse. So, that is a big jump from just standard multiversal entities. No, it is multi-Vaseline powerful. It can destroy the multiverse. It sounds like these guys are just in deadlock then, at the end of the day. But okay, the credit song is going to be delayed a little bit because Dr. Vera Lovelace, who won the contest for me to pick a song I have to sing at the end of this, picked a song I don't know. So when I turn the camera around, I'm going to take a second to figure out the song first. So give me a minute. And then there will be a, then it will be a credit song. Okay, credit song. I'm gonna have to sing this with the track, which means just to learn it fast enough to do it. So that means that you're gonna have to listen to the music, which means that YouTube is gonna get mad at me. But this is what I do for you guys because of your generosity. So give me a moment to find the place where it starts. Okay. Good thing is it's a good vocal range for me, at least. This is not going to hurt. Welcome. Won't you come inside? Oh, I fear the passing year did not deserve you by some devious design. Suddenly you're very near as I prefer you, soaked and shivered from the rain. You have been a delicate disaster, fine in fire and a frame. Me and you are overdue for fiendish laughter. Oh dear, oh dear. Let me see those smoky eyes, 'cause you're a villainous thing, and we can't have you living a lie. Oh dear. Let's remove those pretty clothes, 'cause you're a villainous thing, oh, I don't think anyone knows. Whoa, oh, oh. Hey, that wasn't bad. All right, the credit song is Villainous Thing by Schaefer James. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Did I miss any last minute donations during that? Are we clear? We're clear. Okay, I didn't miss anything else. All right. Cheers, gang. Cheers. See you tomorrow.